Good afternoon. It's Jim Whitehead, All Power Group, and Phoenix Animal. Now, this is an insect, so I hope you don't mind. And I've got to be honest, it's creepy in a sense because no one really loves flies in a lot of respects. Sometimes they do good, and I'll get into that, but here's that fly staring at you. And of course, you expect that they can see real well. Okay, flies may seem like a pesky little insect, but they're more fascinating than they appear. Here are some incredible facts that might surprise you. So, this is basically 10 things you didn't know about flies, and probably 10 things you didn't want to know about flies. Anyway, okay, they're fast flyers. Flies can beat their wings up to 1,000 times per second, which helps them zip through the air and change direction quickly. And it's funny, and I don't even think of these things until I'm doing it, but there's so many mechanical issues in our world that we copy insects. And in some cases, some of our jets, planes, the recognition of being able to fly and being able to turn on a dime. It's nice in the fly world, but also in the military, it's absolutely necessary. This rapid movement makes them hard to catch. No kidding. Okay, also, the second thing is they have 360-degree vision. Flies have compound eyes, which give them almost panoramic vision. Each eye contains thousands of individual lenses, helping them detect movement in nearly all directions at once. I guess that's why when you think, oh, this fly's not facing me and I'm going to get it, and that's why they make fly swatters. It's bigger, and they think you're going to be able to, even though the fly is going to see it coming, it might just be a little bit too big a surface area to get out of the way in time. Also, and you feel bad about some of these things, flies have a very short lifespan, but high reproduction rate. A fly's lifespan is typically around 15 to 30 days. And I always say I feel bad about our animal, like our dogs that only maybe live 10 plus years, give or take. Well, they only live 15 to 30 days. It's almost like, what's the point? But that's my logic kicking in. However, a female housefly can lay 500 eggs in her lifetime, allowing populations to grow rapidly. They are masters of decomposition, and this is either good or bad. Houseflies and certain other fly species are decompressors. They help break down dead plants and animals, recycling nutrients back into the environment. Without flies, decomposition would slow, leading to a buildup of organic waste. Now, one aside, I don't preview the text, and I probably should, but we also have seen in some of our crime dramas over the years that they can use flies to timeline, let's say somebody is murdered. And if they come upon the body, and excuse me, I don't mean to be gruesome, but if there aren't any flies on the body, it would be assuming that it's not has not been dead very long, or there are, and then you get into the flies laying eggs on the body. Ugh, I know this sounds creepy, but it's true, and that helps knowing the time frame of a fly finding something, a fly saying, hey, this is cool, and then saying, hey, this is even cooler because I'm going to lay some eggs. They can use that as a time measurement issue. I'm sorry. Excuse me. And it's not flies that's making me sneeze. Excuse me. Sometimes you just have to sneeze and not good. But I apologize. I'm not contagious. I promise. Okay, number 5. Survival without food. Houseflies can survive up to 2 days without food. Oh, good. However, they generally prefer to feed every few hours and are attracted to sugary substances like cake. As I said, sugary substances, decaying food, and organic matter. Now, I got to be honest, this is kind of creeping me out a little bit too. So we're both getting a little bit creeped out. Anyway, but it's like with anything. Everything in the world has a purpose. And I know throughout my whole life, I've always felt you have to get up every day to have a purpose. And as I've mentioned, I'm 75 years old, and I'm not going to retire. I'm still doing generator business, EcoFlow installations, and the best is YouTube. It keeps you active. It keeps where you've got to do certain things and basically try to do your best on presenting. And as you can see, whatever you do, don't sneeze when you're doing a live program. All right, so write that one down. Flies can taste with their feet. You're probably saying, get out. I didn't make it up, I promise. Flies have taste receptors on their feet. When they land on something potentially edible, they can taste it simply by touching it with their legs and determine if it's suitable for feeding. I didn't know that. I really didn't. And again, as I've said, every time I do one of these, I'm like, I learn new things. And I know one of these things, some of these things you'd say, is this really going to make your life better, Jim? Because you know that they can taste through their legs. Ooh, wow. That's pretty amazing. Okay, number 7. Remarkable reflexes. And we've seen that many times, trying to go, bam, and you always miss them, and they get away. Number 7, remarkable reflexes. Flies react to danger 100 times faster than humans. Whoa. So if you catch one and you hit them with a fly swatter, you're doing pretty darn well. I didn't know it was going to be that hard. So anyway, the reaction time coupled with their quick wings makes them incredibly hard to swat. Yeah, that's true. That's true. 8. Flies can spread disease. Oh, we kind of know that a little bit. And, I'm in Naples, and I just read yesterday the Mosquito Commission and I'm in a county called Collier County. They have realized that there are some, in this case I'm going to flip the mosquitoes for a minute, but it's the point of spreading disease. that they're finding that a new species is able to transmit, and I don't know the disease. One of them is dengue fever, but that's not what they're talking about. So if anybody would say, what's the biggest thing in Naples that you like or don't like? And in reference to not liking something, whenever I take Jamie out at night, we generally have mosquitoes. And yes, they spray. But obviously, they're not spraying enough. They're not spraying low enough. Or the mosquitoes, and you hope not, are not getting immune to some of these things. But now, back to flies. You're saying, come on, Jim. Flies can spread disease due to their diet and habitat of landing on waste. Flies are vectors for diseases. They can carry pathogens like E. coli, salmonella, spreading them to surfaces and foods. So whatever you do, keep your food covered. And you know, it's like with anything. I never really thought too much about flies. Kinda. Until I was looking for what would be hopefully a different and interesting presentation. And I picked flies. Okay. Number 9, metamorphosis in 10 days. A fly can go from egg to adult in just 10 days. And since they don't live very long, 15 to 30 days, whoa. Their fast reproductive cycle helps explain why it can feel like there are always flies around in warm months. That makes sense. And number 10, they're sensitive to light changes. Because, you know, as I mentioned earlier, they have a 360-degree view of things. And with that much eyesight, I guess you might say, that they certainly would, they certainly would be very sensitive to light changes. So flies see more than frames per second than humans, meaning they can detect light changes we might not notice. Wow, this is part of what makes them so good at avoiding sudden movements. And you know, the neat thing in general in our world, and I know we a lot of times get into why, I am very sorry, why do we have flies? Why do we have other insects and animals, and we kind of go, well, in the large scheme of things, every living animal, insect, human being, all have a purpose. And that is, I mean, I don't want to get up and not have a purpose. So, you know, yes, I admit flies, their purpose is to survive. But we would certainly feel that that's one of the best reasons to get up in the morning. And I'm not saying they go to sleep and get up, you know, when the alarm rings, but they have a purpose. And they don't know any other thing than doing things, finding things, decomposing things. I mean, it's like, do we have to have them? Well, yes, we do. So that's the way it is. These small, everyday insects have an impressive array of abilities adapted to help them survive in nearly any environment. Wow. I hope you have learned more about flies today. And I'm not going to ask you to respect flies more than you did before I started this presentation. But I think, again, the bottom line is the issue of everything has a purpose, whether it's good or bad. And again, as I said, every day, my purpose is to do my best with my generator customers and also my content YouTube subscribers. And thank you. Because again, I know, and I look at YouTube every night, and when I exercise in the middle part of the day, I learn a lot. I learn how to do things. I know how to fix things. I mean, there's just so many benefits of YouTube. And to be honest with you, would anybody say is everything perfect with YouTube? I'd have to say no. But is it good? Yes. Is it getting better? Yes. Is it going to keep getting better? Yes. So, I guess I'm in for the long haul. It's already been 1.5 years. Anyway, and when you get to be my age, you kind of go, ooh. In fact, I was talking to a new customer today for generator, EcoFlow power generator, and he said he's 75. And I said, ooh, I'm 75. And he said, I'm kind of getting there. I don't have a lot of time left. I went, oh boy. We all, and boy, do I try to take care of myself. I really do. And you helped me, believe it or not, because if I didn't have this to come up to or come out to my building and come up with some good things for you or things that I hopefully feel are good things, what good am I, right? So anyway, thank you for being here, and I really appreciate your support, your support and helping me survive. And have a good rest of the day, and thank you.